I'm the Notary Dude here in Los Angeles, California. I'm a full-service notary. I'm also a mobile notary. This right here is the domestic partnership form for the state of California. This form can be downloaded at the Secretary of State website. It has to be this exact form. Don't be fooled by other forms that charge you to print it out and everything. There's no charge to get this. Go to the Secretary of State website, type in domestic partnership form. It is a DP-1. Filling this out is easy. There are instructions here that say if you're going to be qualified to be in a domestic partnership or not. Make sure that you meet all of that criteria. Take your time to read through those. Right here is the names of the partners. This is where you're going to put your name and your partner's name, a middle name if any, and also a last name. If there needs to be a name change at all, you could put that information in there. Now, just full disclosure here, I actually called the Secretary of State last week about domestic partnership to see what the time frames were as far as getting them processed. I also asked them what the most common errors are with a domestic partnership form and why they'd be rejected. One thing they told me is names aren't correct and address doesn't match up. So make sure you are putting your full name. I always suggest you put the name that's on your driver's license first, middle, and last. That way there's no discrepancy as far as when you get it acknowledged by Notary Public. So that's the form. Your name's here. Your mailing address, that is the address where you want the domestic partnership to be mailed to. So kind of important that you have that address correct. Down here at the bottom is where you need to sign and date it, and it needs to be notarized by Notary Public. It's always best to wait to sign this when you get to the notary. The reason being is if you were to sign it, say today, and date it today, and then you're not going to the notary to get it notarized until next week, these dates aren't going to match up. And it might not be a problem, but I always like to play it safe. The date you put on this should match up with the notarization date that the notary fills out. And that's going to be this next page right here. This is an acknowledgement. This is where the notary is going to put the information. The County of Los Angeles on would be the date. Before me, that's where they put their name. Then personally appeared, this is where you and your partner's name will appear. You need to make sure that the name that appears here matches up with the name that you have here. So if you say your name is John Wilder, if you go by John Wilder II, or if you have a middle initial, John W. Wilder, it's going to throw it off because that notary is just going to notarize the name right here that's most likely in your driver's license. So, best practice, put the name that's on your driver's license in here when you fill it out. That way there's no discrepancy and no questions. So the notary will fill this out. The notary will sign right here and put their stamp right here in this spot. The other pages are basically just instructions for filling it out. No big deal. Now with this, a couple more tips. You have to remember that you include a check. It's $33. It needs to be made out to the Secretary of State or SOS. You need to include it with this form. The second thing is when you mail this form off to the Secretary of State, get a tracking number. Don't just put it in a normal envelope and send it off because you never know if they actually received it. Ship it with priority mail, certified mail to the post office, or ship it with FedEx or UPS in a flat rate envelope, something like this, where you actually have a tracking number so you know if they received it or not. Otherwise, you might be sitting around waiting for your domestic partnership to come and they never actually received it. Always send it with a tracking number. Next thing is, after you fill this out, timing-wise, it's been taking about 4 weeks to get this form done, sent, and to the state to have them approve it and to get your domestic partnership in the mail. So I'm the Notary Dude here in Los Angeles, California. I notarize a lot of these domestic partnership forms. If you have any questions at all, hit me up and ask. I'm happy to help you out any way I can. You can call me or text me. I cover most of LA County area, all the way from downtown LA all the way to Long Beach. Call and ask. I don't mind. You can bug me about it. So, have any questions, let me know. Once again, thanks for watching my video. Notary Dude here in Los Angeles, California.